Hello, good morning, everyone, to VIP pre-market prep. All right, so this morning, and by the way, this pre-market prep every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, live for our VIP members. This gets published at 4 p.m. if you'd like to listen to it live in the morning, and the replay is available for about an hour afterwards as well. You can hop over to StoryTrading.com and become a VIP to get these. So for today, the focus is really, are we going to get a bear market rally? We did talk about this extensively last night in the weekly meetup. We'll go through our little macro review here. There's not a lot of company-specific catalysts out there this morning. So it's really about the direction of the market is going to impact the individual stock movements. But you can see here on actually what I want to do is go back to like QQQ about the 5-day chart. Actually, we can even look at it on the 1 month. Okay. So you can see here, this is when the CPI data came out, and I was actually preparing for a pre-market squeeze here, and it ran for a couple days, but then the target numbers came out, so I got bearish. The rest of the market got bearish, and now it looks like we could be continuing off of this sharp move on Friday, continuing this morning. And I'll tell you, like sentiment wise, there's a lot of signals from very smart people I follow that this is the start of a bear market rally, and it makes sense, right? It's just the reason I was positioning for one was because it was oversold, and the macro data came in, but maybe it's just too oversold. Look what you see on the weekly chart here. Let me switch to here. You go. Check out the RSI on the weekly chart at 29. Look at the other two times. It's actually even slightly below the COVID crash and then 2018 recession. We're right there, right? And it's also pretty close to that 200-week moving average. You know, so I don't know. I guess there's a possibility today's a little fake pop and we touch that 200-week first, but I think I'm going to be removing some of my short position in my trading account. I'm going to hold on to it in my IRA, and we'll see what happens. But many signals from Elliott Wave traders, from people in our community. You know, Vince is really good with the charts. Get an RSI signal. There's a few other people I follow on Twitter who are very good traders, and pretty much universally, everyone's looking for a bear market rally, at least in the group of people that I associate with. So we'll see if that pans out or not. Now, if it does pan out, pretty much everything goes up. Okay. Interesting. We're going to go over Tesla and Twitter. Tesla and Twitter are down. Probably like the only stocks on my list that are down this morning, and that may be because of what's going on over there, company specific to Elon. I want to know Apple. Apple, look at this. 50. This was the key crack that, you know, the chart got really bearish. That's a 50-week moving average, right? So I think we're still entrenched pretty deeply in bear territory here on Apple price action, which is going to lead the NASDAQ. But a bear market rally, look where it can take it. It can maybe take it and retest 155, right? 138 to 155 is a big move. Actually, let's go back to the last bear market rally here. That was incredible because let's go to the daily on that. The last bear market rally, it was down here. Not only did it touch the 20 DMA, which would be the equivalent of about 302 here, it went on to the 50 DMA, which would be 328, and then all the way, and it even went slightly above the 200, 364. Is all of that possible? Yeah, it's possible. I'm not going to be playing for such a big bear market rally, but I am going to be making some moves for a bear market rally, and we'll see how high it goes. A couple other things you can see here. Bitcoin up 4%. That's BITO. Gold is interesting. I pointed out this last week. It broke the 200-day. It's back below the 20 DMA this morning. Well, it's trying to peak above the 20 DMA this morning. So fundamentally, I have not been long gold. I since the Fed got really hawkish. So technically, yeah, maybe it goes up. Maybe it goes up with the market when it goes up, but I don't know. I'm not so strong in gold because fundamentally I don't see the thesis there right now acutely. Long term, it could be great if inflation stays high. Okay. And you can see pretty much here oil, XLE, CCJ, which is uranium following oil this morning. Natural gas is down. Don't know why. The agriculture names all up this morning. Um, Wheat and soybean and corn all doing well. The fertilizer names following. So pretty much everything is up here. You can see bonds are selling off, the dollar selling off a little bit. So a little bit of a risk on appetite here this morning. So let's go to some specific stocks. Started as my Russia list and it's expanding. So Tesla and Twitter are pretty much the only stocks that are red. This little move doesn't mean anything here on DRIO unless there's news, and there isn't. So okay, so Tesla and Twitter. I don't know. I am actually maybe potentially interested in a Tesla trade if we do get that bear market rally, because there was a catalyst here this morning that it's not coming up on this news release, but I saw it come through this morning that in China, Shanghai, I think it was, one of their factories is returning to full output on Tuesday this week, which is tomorrow. So maybe that'll be a catalyst that takes it up. But I think there's something very company specific here going on with Elon trying to use Tesla to get that money for Twitter, and there's sexual allegations, and I think the sentiment's kind of poor over here right now. That's why they're both down. So I don't know what's going on there. I had thought Twitter had bottomed out, and maybe it did a few days ago, but I'm not playing this. Too much risk to the downside in case the deal doesn't go through. Okay, I might play Tesla. Walmart's very interesting to me for a trade here because it had bad earnings and had a 3-day rule, 3 days down, and you can see it stabilize there. And just for that reason, and the oh my God, a 16 RSI. Look at this. Wow, that's like the lowest. Let's go to the weekly chart. Yeah, this RSI is out of control on Walmart. So if we get a bear market rally, this thing can print. I don't know. You can play that the way you want. All right. So that's something I'm looking at. So I'm going to watch Zoom earnings is after the close. This is a pretty cheap, undervalued company at this point. PE is 20, and it's down because of sentiment, because people don't believe their earnings are going to be sustainable. So the question is it or isn't it, right? I still use Zoom. So if people are the reopening trade, right? The great reopening trade, is that going to mean everyone's getting off Zoom? I'm not so sure about that. I think people may continue to use Zoom, or people may not cancel their subscription services so quickly. So I think this is an interesting one. I don't know. I'll have to decide if I take a position before earnings. It's after the close. So this is a very interesting look at it. Technically, all of the COVID gains lost, and now they're making money hand over fist, a lot more than they were before COVID. Very interesting name to me here. All right, we talked about now Kodak. I don't know. There's some nuggets coming through that Kathy Woods in one of her funds. I still don't have clarity on which one, but she's been buying Kodak. So that's very interesting. You can see it's getting a bid here this morning. This is generally just moving with the markets. But that's an interesting one. We could definitely challenge $5 pretty quickly if we get a bear market rally. But we got to nail down what's going on with Kathy Woods and ARK. There may be something there. So that's going to be interesting. And look at this. All these names, DRIO, SMSI, they're going to go up. We'll get to monkeypox in just a second. Let's skip over SIGA. But all this stuff should move if we get a bear market rally. Follow through possibly last week on CrowdStrike, or was it PANW earnings, right? The cybersecurity space, PANW did well. So these are the names if you want follow through. CrowdStrike, Zscaler, BBAI, low float play over there, CYRN, another small cap low float, CIBR. I think it's an ETF in the cybersecurity space. CISO. These are all names you can put on your watch list. If you want to play that, it could be a good move. That's a catalyst on a fundamental reason in terms of earnings and guidance being boosted. And then you have the sentiment tailwind of the overall market. So this sector might be really good today. We see lithium. SQM had really good earnings last week. 2 weeks prior to that, LTHM had really good earnings. So could we see follow through again? So far in pre-market, we are on all the other lithium names, LAC, LLKKF, LIACF. All those are interesting names. Want to point out PRCH has been on my watch list for a long time. Interesting real estate company. They've gotten killed from 25 to $5 this morning. JP Morgan uh, started coverage, overweight, $8 price target, so it's up 10% this morning. I don't have a position, but that's something worth looking into possibly. Celsius, I love this name. Its relative strength has been very strong. In fact, this one's over the 50-day moving average. Let me see where it is on the weeklies. Over the 20-week moving average. So this company has a lot of momentum and possibly something that can really benefit strongly from bear market rally. What I've noticed is when you have relative strength during the drawdown, when you get that rally, the stocks with the relative strength often do the best. Okay. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bear market rally. This thing can quickly go and test that 200-day moving average on Celsius at like $68. So that's the story there. I'm still long the fertilizer. Actually, no, I sold IPI. Did I sell all of it? I sold at least half of it via $60 covered calls. I'd sold it $12. So I made a small profit on that on last week's play. I had two ideas last week. I had given Wolf Financial on Monday night. That was IPI and CCJ. So made a small profit on IPI. CCJ was up for the week. So hopefully we'll have continuation on that. That's a uranium name. All right, I want to come back and just touch on monkeypox for a second. I'm not going to go through my whole thesis. I did that last night on the VIP weekly show. So we got the main one everyone's following is SIGA. Where is it? SIGA. Do you guys see SIGA? SIGA, there it is. Okay. So number one, I'm not chasing this. Okay. Number two, based on the research I've done, there could be cause for concern. I'm not ready to write it off. I did write it off in terms of my interest in this space, right? In terms of the sentiment, I have COVID fatigue. I just don't care, right? But biologically, I'm not ready to write it off. This could be something that we got to watch. Okay. So the case numbers are too high. The distribution numbers are too high. It doesn't match the historical patterns for this. In terms of how contagious it's supposed to be, doesn't necessarily make sense how much it's spreading. Hopefully, it's going to be something that they can trace back to one super spreader event. And that'll be that, and it won't spread much further. But we got to watch this in case there's a mutation or something. The administration is taking it seriously. The White House has ordered already some $100 million or so of monkeypox vaccines. I don't believe it was SIGA's. It's a different company. I'm not sure which, but all of the plays in the space are moving still this morning, gapping up. CMRX, although they've been down from the morning. I'm not playing these. Okay, just wanted to give you my take on it, my opinion. There was someone in the room, Vince, who nailed this, who was really early. SIGA made a ton of money, so it pays to be in the VIP rooms and hear some ideas from other people. So he played that extraordinarily well. So congrats to him. And that's the story with monkeypox. So we look at the Q's 0.63%. Let's take a look at the news the last second. Oh, Netflix is coming up. I wonder how Netflix is doing and if that'll be a good candidate for some good action on a bear market squeeze. 20 DMA, that's the key level there. It's trying to break over that 20 DMA. So listen, the truth of it is, if we do get a bear market squeeze, everything's going up at this point. That's just how it works. So that's the story, guys. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you in the chat rooms and have a great day.